Hello, my friends. I hate to be harping on negativity, but I have to delve into this topic because someone fucking needs to. And, first of all, I want to say rest in peace to Rich Piana. This was a man who I think embodied something that a lot of Western guys don't have anymore. And that's an attitude of wanting to go as hard as you can into something, whether it be bodybuilding like he was into, whether it be starting your own company, which he did do. No matter what your passion or your goals in life are, always strive to be at the top 5% of those who do it. And that's exactly what Rich Piana was about. Now, for those of you who don't know, Rich Piana has passed away last night at early in the morning, I think, or late last night. So what happened to Rich was, if you haven't been following it, he went into a coma, a medically induced coma, because first responders were called to his house by his girlfriend, and what they saw was apparently they saw white powder on the table with a credit card and a straw, which tells me that sounds like cocaine. He was doing some drugs and he passed out, and his girlfriend actually was there with him, and she tried to pick him up, but because the guy's a 300-pound bodybuilder, she couldn't, and he fell to the floor. Now, I want to get out of the way right now. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a news reporter, and I'm not trying to create a story here. All I'm saying is that this is what happened. So he went to the hospital. He was rushed to the hospital, and they put him into a coma there because they couldn't wake him up, basically, and his brain was swelling. Now, part of the reason that this happened, now keep in mind what's been going on with Rich. He's probably had a lot of stress in life recently, between him having that racist rant that he was exposed for. His ex-wife is, bringing all these things up, allegations against him. And the other thing is, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but he actually had a physical altercation with Jason Genova. And he had there was an expo, a fitness expo that he was at, where he met Vegan Gains, who, Vegan Gains talked some mad shit about Rich, and it was kind of funny because they didn't. If you looked at the interaction, they met face to face, and nothing happened. There was no confrontation. But either way, all of those things, you might think that wouldn't be stressful for a guy like Rich because he's so alpha, whatever. But something, those little things, yeah, they can't eat at a person if there are enough of them. And so that might be, some other people have speculated that might be why he did cocaine at the time, or whatever drug he was on. I honestly am not going to pretend that I know what was, going on. I just think, cocaine, straw, credit card. Anyway, so yeah, he's been in a coma for a week, and yesterday, or early this morning, he passed away. So I want to kind of also talk about the fact that we lost somebody else. Now, Rich Piana was in his 40s, but a couple days ago we lost Dallas McCarver too. And I mean, go Google, some pictures of him if you don't know who he is, but he's a bodybuilder too. And I think about a month ago, he was in the middle of a show and he had to come off stage because he had problems with breathing. And, supposedly he died by choking on a piece of food. You don't think those two things might be correlated at all? And, I mean, I have absolute respect for the dead because those guys are gone, guys. There's no use in talking shit about those two men. In all reality, for those of us who are... Well, I don't have any problems with either of them. I've never, whatever. I've never been in any beef with them, but for those of you who have been, like, they're gone, man. So, let's keep this civil. Let's not talk shit about the dead. But I wanna tell it like it is here. If you look at Eddie Hall in his documentary, he has breathing problems too. Eddie Hall's the world's strongest man right now, and he's right up there with Thor Bjornsson. And he has to sleep with a breathing machine because he can't, breathe properly at night because he's so huge. And that's this thing with bodybuilding. There's a tendency, because of all the drugs that people do, and Rich Piana, by the way, did a lot of steroids. I mean, he was by no means secretive about that, and that's what I liked about Rich. He wasn't going on about, oh yeah, I'm natural, and meanwhile, the guy's got arms the size of Kentucky. So steroids have an effect on your heart. They can enlarge your heart. And for those of you who think that that's a good thing, there are basically two aspects to your heart, right? The cavities. That being bigger can be, a good thing, but when you develop more tissue on your heart, that puts stress on it. And so that's what steroids can do to you. On top of the fact that Rich was doing, party drugs, recreational drugs, whatever you want to call them, I think that's a recipe for disaster. And when you start to mess with your cardiovascular system, yeah, no wonder you have problems with breathing. Especially when, Dallas McCarver had, asthma. I kind of want to, bring something into the forefront here. We lost two good men this week. Both of them well before their times. I lost my fucking hero to this shit. Okay? I lost Ziz to something similar. Party drugs, steroid combination. Okay? That guy was my hero. He's gone now. We're lucky we didn't lose Boston Lloyd too, because he made a video saying, look, I know what the effects of this sort of thing is. I'm going to stop. And Boston Lloyd, I don't really follow him, but I'm glad that he stopped, because I don't want to see more bodybuilders dead. I don't want to see people who are into fitness dying. I'm 160 pounds right now, completely natural. I don't want to become 300 pounds and, die in my 40s, die in my 30s, even die in my 50s. You look at C.T. Fletcher, he had something similar happen to him. He became a huge, giant powerlifter, and, all of a sudden he had a serious heart condition happen, and he lost literally every gain in his body. And he's lucky to be alive right now, and right now he's having heart problems. C.T. Fletcher is, I realize that he's not a realistic, piece of motivation, whether he's natural or not. The guy's genetically enhanced just by his own genes, and I look to him for motivation, because he's got an attitude that nobody else has on YouTube, or even in the whole bodybuilding world. He's got an attitude that nobody else has got. He's very old school, and I really do not want to see him go too, especially in the same year that we lose Rich. So yeah, I guess that's really it for today, guys, but here's the thing. I don't want to lose anybody else. So if you know that you have one of these bigorexia problems, where you have this thing where you have to get bigger and bigger and bigger and stronger and stronger and stronger, and you're not doing any cardio, you're letting the drugs do all the work, keep in mind this is probably going to happen to you too. And I don't want that to happen to you. And that's not what fitness is about. And think about all the young guys, younger than me, who look up to you. All the 15, 16-year-olds out there who are looking up to you, thinking, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And then they get so far into their natural progression that they realize, oh, I can't go any further without steroids. So they do them, and then they have this thing in their brains since they were young that they want to get to this next level of fitness, bodybuilding, and we lose them too. Can we please stop this madness? Please.